Hello and welcome to Lions Talk with Smokin, Jeremy V, and Von Doom. We're going to go into detail about the whole mini camp. I gave Dan Leonard a bunch of notes. So we're going to go over that and what we heard from other reporters that were there. I'm going to talk about what Risden and Tim 20 Man said. The other one that I checked was Dave Burkett. There we go. Had to think of who it was. I like to go with the legit writers for real papers, not just people that post stuff online. So on with the show. Let's get this intro rolling.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Bodies by Jeremy Jones.
All right, here we are. Yeah, I had a lot of notes. Got good afternoon, Will Vogel says. Like I said on the last show, hope all is well with you guys. Well, Leonard's getting healed up before he can go back to work, so he's got time to chat.
Yes, sir.
Not missing this show. What's up, fellas? We're going to talk about that mini camp. Detroit Fan Man says found it. So that being said, there's some people that's been saying my show is restricted, but I see you guys are all here and I'm happy for it. Glad to see you here. It's been a hell of a ride this weekend. Let me get to my notes because I want to actually read it off verbatim what I heard. The biggest standout out of the UDFAs that we didn't sign and invited to camp was JJ Ross, the 6'3", 208-pound cornerback / safety. He had an amazing day, amazing time with picks each day. One was in the drill where they line up the two corners and they got to run up close to the line and they get a pass run to them, thrown to them when they're within like 4 yards of the line. And then they get another pass thrown 20 yards back. When he got up within 4 yards of the passer, the guy threw it at his ear hole and he literally cupped it with one hand and tucked it under like a wide receiver. Turned around, dropped the ball after a couple of yards like he's supposed to, got into position, and that's a zone coverage thing where you're supposed to be the shallow zone, then deep zone. You know what I'm talking about, Von Doom, where they're doing it at 5 yards and they do it back at 15 yards. They're
Yes, sir.
covering that whole area. And when he turned around, he actually batted the ball away at 15 yards because he got in position and got set. And it was a bad throw where it was a little off target, so he had to use his length to reach out and swat it away. Then he had a good one in coverage on day 3 where they were actually in the 7-on-7s. Theo Day did not have a good weekend. He made Terry and Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, and J.J. Ross look like all-stars.
There's a reason he went from Michigan State to Northern Iowa.
Exactly. You remember Rocky, whatever his name is, Lombardi, beat him out as a starter that year.
Yep.
And Rocky Lombardi was a 2-star recruit at the time. Theo Day was supposed to be a 4-star recruit with 1-star talent. Well, did I say that out loud?
Giving him credit there, man. You're giving him some credit.
Oh, no star talent?
No star talent.
Okay. Cade Peterson, on the other hand, who was a 1-star. Rick J.J. McCarthy threw a pick six on the first play of his minicamp, got told by the coach he needs to stop talking shit. Bad start for my boy. All right, Woody of the Wild Woody Show is in saying, "What's up, brother? Good to see you." Um,
What?
Rakestraw played exclusively slot, but it looks like he finally healed from his core muscle injury that was still bothering him at the combine, which is one of the reasons why he had that slower time. And everybody said there was something going on with him because he looked much faster on the field. And now that that's fully healed, because he injured that at the beginning of the season and had surgery on it in the off season, he actually had improved hip swivel and change of direction skills we never saw in any game while he was at Missouri last year. And I guess he was real sticky. And Woody Buck says, "Hey, fellas, I'm glad I caught my favorite show." So it looks like he's going to be a slot corner, which means he'll be a nickel or dime depending on who beats him out in preseason, which is fine
So,
with me.
so does that mean Branch goes back to safety?
And Branch is going to be playing predominantly at safety. Yoli Cruz gives us a wave and says, "Hello, hello, Yoli." Yes, this is going live soon. As soon as the app is up and running, they're still trying to get the email saying it's approved. The channel has been approved, but not the app for it. It's Huddle Sports Network. We're going to be live on Roku, people. So right now it's just live in the normal spots, but it will be aired on Roku Sports Network overnight once it gets up and running. I think either Amik or Carlton Davis is battling for whatever outside spot they want to not give Arnold. I think Rakestraw is going to end up being a nickel or dime slot year one. And I've said that all along. And it's because of his diminutive frame. It's not that he's short, but he's so tiny of a guy. His size equates to a slot in the NFL. Does that make sense to you, Von Doom?
It does. I
Because
just
he's 6 foot tall, but he's like 180 pounds, soaking wet. Jeff Risdon said if he was 188 pounds, he's a 6'4", 250-pound linebacker, is what he said. And I thought that was the funniest statement.
I don't disagree with you at all there. But now, after signing a Meek and then drafting Arnold and Rakishaw, it makes me feel like the Carlton Davis trade is just kind of pointless now.
Right. I at the same time, I get it why we did it at the time. But in all actuality, drafting the two corners is more of a reaction to losing Sutton.
I agree, but you got Davis making starter money. You assigned a Meek to starter money.
He got $6 million a year. That's not starter money.
It was always 6 a year.
It was only $6 a year. And Rakestraw restructured his deal. He's only making $4 million this year.
Rakishaw or Davis?
I mean, Davis. Davis restructured his deal. He's making $4 million this year. He gets $10 million pushed back to next year when we got more money and can afford to do it.
Gotcha.
So when you hear that they're only making $4 and $6 million, that's not really starter money anymore. Because I think Amik got like a 3-year deal. It wasn't a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, and it was 3 years for $18 million total, not $18 million per year.
Well, that is not terrible then.
Right. So
Then I
Arnold,
think he's better than Davis.
I think Arnold is going to be either CB1 or CB2, and I hope they actually put him at CB2. And I'm going to tell you why. Because putting him at CB1 as a rookie and making him face elite wide receivers is going to be like putting Cam Sutton at the one last year. Do you disagree with that, Von Doom?
No, I do not.
But I'm going to put this out here. And other than Nate Lynn and Matthew Betts, Manu looked after his first 4 or 5 snaps when he shook off the rookie dust, was imposing his will against every other defensive end we had there. And remember, we had quite a few in rookie camp because of the invites and the UDFAs we signed. but Nate Lynn and Matthew Betts were the better ones, and they switched from side to side, so they didn't get to just go up against Manu exclusively. Betts had this great move that he showed there at the CFL where he started to the outside and he did that little T step cut to the inside and swam right through Manu and got a sack on Theo Day. Poor Theo Day. That's all I got to say. Uh, so Betts looked good as advertised. He's got that quick first step. He's got that T step to be able to change directions like a corner. The schedule gets released this Wednesday. There's leaks that are coming out, and yes, the first game is Baltimore at Kansas City. I have the feeling it's going to be Lions at San Francisco on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football week 1. I think that's going to happen. But the guy looked like a man going against boys. He was so big though. And there was the bull rush line move with Bruce Hudson, the other UDFA that we brought in, and he was coming up against Manu in that bull rush. Manu folded him like an empty trash can up against a dump truck bumper when they forgot to take it off the street. I mean, granted, it's 6'5", 305 versus 6'7", 5'8", and 352. It still should have been a better bull rush fight than that. Don't you agree, Von Doom?
I don't know, man. Just like in a fight, size matters. There's a reason they have weight classes in boxing because 10 pounds means a lot.
And Betts actually got by him on 3 out of his 5 attempts through the day, so he looked as good as advertised. And a note for everybody that wanted Jerzon Newton, he's undergoing another foot surgery, and it's looking like he's going to miss over half the season. So the Washington Commanders took him, and that's not looking too good for them. Because that was one of the reasons why they said their defense looked so improved. They finally got somebody to go next to their big defensive tackle that could be effective. I think our CB1 is going to be a dogfight between Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson. Whoever shows that they're better in the preseason workouts and everything else, that's who's going to get it. And I hope Arnold's the 2. And that's just size-wise, Arnold is an outside corner at that 6 foot, 200 pounds. I think Betts could be a starter. We don't know what we're going to get out of Davenport yet. And does Davenport stay healthy if he's a starter? Probably not. He's played 16 games in 3 seasons. Yes, he's been very effective in the 16 games he's been in. But wouldn't you be able to keep him healthier as a situational pass rusher rotating in and out with James Houston behind Betts?
It makes more sense to do it that way, but it's still way too early to really give a honest opinion on that. It's just rookie camp on UDFAs. I want to see what he does trying to play against Panay in freaking practice.
Well, I have the feeling he'll be going against Decker, and I think he'll do pretty good there.
I don't want to see him against Decker. I want to see him against Panay.
I know you do. I know you do. But he's a left end because our right end is Hayden Hutchinson.
That's all good. Line him up anyway to see what the hell he can do.
Why not?
Sewell's the top 3 tackle in the league. I want to know what my guy can do against him.
Yes, the Ricky Sakat, that's a great question. Arnold said he'd jam his own mother into the dirt if she was a wide receiver. Am I concerned at Arnold's development with Glenn as a DC?
We all are. We all are. Honestly, we'd be real about it. Everybody's concerned about a cornerback getting developed by Aaron Glenn. And that thing right there, too, about jamming his mother into the dirt. He is a terrible human being. That lady brought you into this world.
No.
No. Listen to me here. You let her go right by you and do whatever. You let somebody else hit her and do the dirty work. That way, it's not on you. It's on them.
He was, well, believe it or not, his mom was an accomplished athlete in college and high school, and she told him to never hold back against her in basketball. So he didn't. And so that's where that competitive statement came from. And she was next to him when he said it, and she laughed about it. And she goes, "Yeah, he would. He used to slap me away when I was going up for layups and knock me to the ground playing up hoops outside because I told him never hold back on me." So it is what it is.
I don't care in that situation. If you got to jam your mom, you step out of the way, let her catch you, let somebody else do the dirty work. You don't put that on you.
So the fact that he has that mentality as a cornerback, that he doesn't care if it's his mother playing wide receiver, he wants to knock him in the dirt. I love it. The fact that he said it about his mom, I don't love. But the fact he's that competitive, I love that. But he also showed when I interviewed him that night. Like I said, in 2022 when Eli Ricks won your starting job because you were benched. What did you learn? Because he's already talked about what he felt like. He already talked about why he got benched. He's already talked about what he did after he came out. I wanted to know what he learned, and he goes, "What I learned is the perseverance and the fact I never want that shit to happen again." I really like Wingo too. I think Wingo and the way he played at camp, if he continues to play that way throughout the entire preseason, it could be an early exit for Levi on Wuzariki. And is anybody going to miss him?
The few people that were unfortunate enough to buy his jerseys.
Hey, I said all along there was certain players that were picked in certain spots, especially when they were fourth round or later, that I would buy their jersey if they started. I own a Malcolm Rodriguez jersey because he earned a starting role as a rookie linebacker. Braylon Dennis, I want Levi gone already. You and a bunch of other people. But Ricky has a question for Von Doom. This is one for Von Doom. The more and more I see of Wink Martindale, the more and more I see why the Giants had a great defense. He can coach.
He is a great coach. He coached the Baltimore defense for years, and they were amazing. Came to the Giants, made them a top 10 defense with bums until we drafted and added some players there. That zero blitz man coverage he run just works. He understands football. I think he'd be a terrible head coach, but he's a great defensive coordinator. I think he's like Rex Ryan, honestly.
Um, I remember when Levi finally got healthy. I think it was week 10 when we faced off against the Steelers his rookie year, when we got our first non-losing game. And he came in and he was starting next to Aleem McNeil. And it was because of how dominant Levi was trying to get through that they had to rotate the guard off of Aleem, and the center couldn't contain Aleem, and he was able to sack the quarterback that year. That was Aleem's first sack of his career was in week 10 after starting 10 straight weeks. So he's shown flashes here and there of being able to do shit, but he hasn't stayed healthy enough to do shit, if that makes sense.
Oh, he had the back injury coming out of college. I'm sorry, as a person that's had a back injury, you're never the same.
Oh, I get it. Once your back is screwed, that's worse than a core muscle injury, really, because your back has all the nerve endings. Marcus Davenport is off injured. That's exactly my point on why I think Betts could win the starting role. And I'm just putting it at like that 55 to 60%. I'm not putting it at like a 80, 90% guaranteed type thing. I'm saying because of Betts' injury history and we got Houston's injury history now because he's only got 2 years in the league, so you have to say it's an injury history, right? Wouldn't they both stay healthier if you can rotate them in opposite each other, like one play have Davenport, next play have Houston, keep those legs fresh, keep them as fresh as possible. If Betts can be your first down guy that takes care of the running plays on first and second down, I think that makes more sense to me. He's also a better run defender from what I've seen of his film with the CFL than either one of them are. James,
Ricky, right there, what he says. If you could get the Davenport that was in New Orleans, watch out. Yes, he was a great pass rusher, a great player there, but he got injured his last season there, and that is the reason why he was not tagged or re-signed. They let him walk. He's got bad legs, not even just like the knee or the ankle. It's his legs are just bad.
well, Dave Burkett was on the other side of the field because he didn't want to see the other UDFAs. He wanted to pay attention to what was the first team 7-on-7s on defense and offense, which makes sense. So he was on that right side of the O line paying attention. And he literally said, when he looked at Christian Mahogany and he's wearing that 73, he goes, if it didn't say Mahogany on the back of his jersey, he could have swore that Jonah Jackson was out there playing at that position. He didn't allow sacks. He road graded. He opened holes for the running backs. And he's saying that we may have our starter of the future there to replace Zietler once he retires. And that's a great thing to hear. But
Was that honestly a question?
yeah, I mean, Mahogany was the 70th prospect overall, people. He fell to 210 because he has one leg shorter than the other and he can't play any other position on the O line than right guard.
But you
Yes,
know what he's going to do at right guard? He's going to maul people.
just like
He
he
did
did
not
at
let up a single
college.
sack at Boston College.
Yeah, and he was a starter 3 seasons, right? He came out as a senior. He didn't start till his sophomore year, never gave up a sack. Um, on his side of the line, they said the point of contact against a running back was at least 1.5 yards downfield as an average. So him looking like Jonah Jackson already as a as a rookie. I'm not talking they're not talking did he look like Jonah Jackson his rookie year. They said it looked like Joni Jackson was playing still. That's a huge compliment for Christian Mahogany if you think about it.
The Saints. Who did they get? Pawaga, right?
Yeah. Yep. And the Saints got Fuaga, which is going to help their quarterback room. If you got a guy that can protect you, it makes a difference. I think the NFC South is a dogfight for a different reason than the NFC North is a dogfight. I think the teams around the Falcons got better. The Falcons got marginally better, but they had the things they needed, they drafted later rather than early. Do you disagree with that statement?
I do disagree with that on the Falcons. I think the Falcons got better at every single spot they needed to get better at. Even everybody shitting on the Penix trade and getting him at 8 there. You know what? Cousins is hurt. He's 40 years old. There's no way you were getting that guy in the second round or being able to trade back past 12 to get him.
Right.
Nobody else in the draft is really worth developing, so you take your guy if you feel he's going to be the one that's going to help that team.
Hey, I've got a Sewell jersey, Ricky, so great choice.
Ricky, actually hit us up. We'll place a big order, man. Get them all.
Yeah. Um, hit Leonard up. We're able to get authentic Lions jerseys, the one you've seen us wear, Laporta, Sewell, Amon Ra, whoever you want. Even if you want a a golf jersey. Contact Leonard. We've got the hookup.
But if you come with trying to say you want a Goaty Goffington jersey, I'm blocking you and never speaking to you again.
Yeah, I'm never ordering a Goaty Goffington. I'll holler at you for sure after the show. But when we're able to do things and get it at almost half off what it is at any retail store, shipped. Just saying. We are your hookup for all your needs. We're also going to be doing the t-shirts, the ones they sell for $40 a piece at Dunham's. We're going to be doing them. We haven't figured out a price or how much yet, but we're going to be doing them. We're going to be doing them on the black, so because it's easier to get black jerseys than black t-shirts than Honolulu blue.
Dude, it's such a weird color to find. It's Honolulu blue.
There's a brand of t-shirt they carry at Walmart, and it's actually very close. And Woody Bach, I like the Penix pick. I understand he has miles, but if it works with that young roster, it could be a headache.
You figure what? Penix is 24. He's had the 2 leg injuries, but it's been 2 years since the injuries. He got a clean bill of health at the combine that even he didn't realize was going to be as good as it came back. There was no real injury question there. And he probably had one of the best arms we've seen in years.
Okay. A fan giveaway. When we hit 1,000, we are going to give away a jersey. We've already talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a signed jersey. Don't go nuts, people. It's just going to be a jersey. Unless we can work out a deal where we can get it signed. But I'm not going to guarantee a signed jersey at 1,000. Not yet. Not yet.
I'm not going to put my mouth on that yet.
Yeah, that's what she said. My son wants a Miami Odell. My daughter wants a Josh Allen. I want a School, and the wife wants a Joey Porter Jr. We need new jerseys for the season. Share, people.
Go.
Yeah, that means get on the YouTube side. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because that's the side we need 1,000. The podcast page is the podcast page. It's just a place for me to go live into Facebook, and I like doing it there. But the YouTube side is where we need 1,000 subs. I love doing this stuff with you guys. I mean, shout out to Huddle Sports Network for picking us up and allowing us to do this show. Granted, that just means I'm going to be tired as you know what every day. Is now I do 3 shows a day, 3 times a week, and 2 shows a day. No, I do 3 shows a day, 4 times a week because I got 2 shows on Thursday with the publisher.
Yeah, you're on crack.
On top of working my 5-hour shift in the middle. Thank God it's only a 5-hour shift.
Take my shift and then try doing what you do. Exactly.
I can do sign language, buddy.
Me too.
My chin itches.
Yeah, so's my nose.
Need to retire your tire days. Get me to 1,000 subs and I can. Trust me.
I fucking can't. I make good money now.
I know. Get it. Retire. Okay, I'm out. Yeah, I get it.
Retire.
Man, it's been a great day here. The other one I want to talk about, Sion Vaki. They used him exclusively at running back and special teams. Vaki is a violent runner. He's not slow. He has a good 40 time, and he shows it in game speed. But he runs so hard he tears up the turf. What he excelled at all this camp is when they did the special team stuff. As a gunner on the kickoffs, the blockers couldn't block him, and he never gave up more than 15 yards on the guys he tackled. So if they're catching it between the 10 and the goal line, and they're only getting 15 yards,
he's flying.
He's flying in there and making shit happen. Right. Violent runner like Pacheco. Think about Pacheco's speed and who'd we just get rid of? Jamal Williams type of style running where he tore up the turf but never went anywhere. He doesn't run same arm, same leg. That's why I won't call him Pacheco. It's closer to like how Jamal Williams ran, but faster. Heavy-footed. Tears up the turf.
Pacheco definitely is a violent runner.
Oh, he is a violent runner, but he runs same arm, same leg, which is why he has that fumble issue when hit on the side with the ball. It makes it easier to time the football when you can see the arm come up at the same time as the same leg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being realistic. That's why he struggles with that. And that's hard to unteach somebody. Torrey Harmon, assistant running back coach of the Chiefs, which we had on Inside the Pigskin. He said he tried to work with them all season, but it didn't matter. He'd get like 4 or 5 snaps in, and he's right back to running same arm, same leg. And he literally started using a ruler and slapping his hands every time he ran like that. I think it's great.
It is, but see, honestly, that's something you should have been taught at a younger age. He probably had 10, 15 years of playing experience where that's how he ran.
Right.
And a lot of the time, even if you know in your head that you're supposed to not do it, muscle memory is muscle memory.
Exactly. And that's why you always went back to it.
Did you hear about
Caden Davis was one of the wide receivers that did break free from Vaki. And that's one of the reasons why he was signed. But he also was a crispy route. Reynolds is still he's still our 3 for now. But what if Vaki has one hell of a preseason? That job's in jeopardy.
Well, that job's going to be in jeopardy anyway because Vaki plays special teams where Reynolds doesn't.
Right. No longer available. It is what it is. He runs how he runs. Practice guy. And then Isaiah Williams. I guess he ran super crispy routes. He caught everything in his catch radius for a smaller guy. But he ran a 4.640. And at the combine, that's why he fell to UDFA. They clocked him at 4.4 at camp. So he's much faster. His pro comp is actually, they call him Mini Saint, if that tells you anything. Super crispy routes, catches everything in his catch radius. Doesn't matter if it's an off-platform throw and not quite on target, he would reel it in. So he's making this roster, guys. I have the feeling he'll be the 6th wide receiver because he also does a great job on kick returns. Granted, Vaki never lined up on that side, which is why he did so well. They should have moved him over a couple times to see if he could blast him one. So people just suck at track but play faster in real life. Yes, and I've been telling you this all along. We've seen it all along. Does St. Brown look like almost a 4.640 guy? Or does he look closer to that 4.445 speed? He looks closer to 4.445 on the field.
No, he's slow.
That's great. He's catching the ball. Sounds like at all kinds of catch points. Yes, absolutely. And Risden did make one thing because we only have one spot left after signing Parker Hess, the tight end, who's a veteran that was just been languishing on UDFAs as a practice squad guy for 2 years. And Caden Davis, who's kind of done the same thing and also had some time in the USFL with the Michigan Panthers, that if J.J. Ross isn't the last guy we pick up, somebody else will with the film he put on at rookie camp. And I agree with that. And out of the linebackers, the only one that had any notes of anything was Deron Gilbert, the linebacker slash safety. He had great coverage skills, but couldn't tackle. So he might end up being a depth guy because he was signed as a UDFA.
So he's the opposite of Tracy Walker.
Right. Their first practice, I believe, is in 2 weeks. No, it's next week, isn't it?
I
Isn't
believe
it the
so.
18th? Yeah, Saturday. The 18th is when the vets join the rookie. They get this week off from Monday through Friday, and then Saturday it's back to work with the vets. And that's when we're going to actually see some good notes on the rookies because once they're in there with the vets, and you do that sophomore rookie team versus the vets, that's when you're going to find out who's going to shine. Is it going to be the fourth straight year that Goff throws a pick to one of our rookie corners?
Yep.
Because he's done it every year. He's done it every year. And everybody lauds it. And I was like, well, wait a minute. We got 1, 2, and a possible third coming if we sign that one kid. Could you see if Goff throws 3 picks in one day to all rookies?
That'd be a golf thing to do.
I'm sorry. I had to laugh about it because it's funny. I'm not knocking Goff. It's just every preseason we hear about what a giant matchup. Manu on Martin. Oh, crap. The earth's going to shake. Absolutely. Because hey, think about this. Martin's shed about 20, 30 pounds. So he's sitting somewhere between 315 and 325. It's not fair anymore because he's only 6'4". Manu's 6'7" and 5'8" and 352. Pancake City.
Yes and no.
But
Because that 3 inches is going to mean that Martin should technically be able to get lower.
right, he should be able to pull off the Lynn and Betts types of moves on him.
Get down and leverage. At the end of the day, leverage is always going to win.
Right, bowl him back. And also, I said with him losing that weight, getting lower will be easier for Martin because he has less of a belly in his way. His belly, when he was bending down at the line, was already touching his thighs, and to expect him to get lower was almost physically impossible. He had to
And you
have
think
better.
defensive end, defensive tackle, you want to be the lowest person on that field so you can push him up. Because once the guy gets onto the back onto his heels, he has no more strength and leverage to push forward.
Yeah, he's 315 to 325 now because he shed that 15 to 30 pounds because he was 342 when we drafted him. So if he shed 15 pounds, that's 327. If he did the 25 pounds to almost 30, he'll be at 315. Add in the pads, your pads are going to add another 10 pounds of weight. So let's just say he'll be 320, just as a roundabout figure. Yeah, I saw a picture and like Broderick really lost weight at the vet mini camp prior to the draft. He's looking good though. He's getting lower. He's able to bend better. When your thigh isn't so fat, it stops your knee from bending. You're able to bend better. That's all I got to say. And as Von Doom said, leverage wins. And if you're able to get lower, you should be able to win. But like I said, that oh yeah, 100%. The thing that he didn't lose is his arm strength. He still has that stout upper body and the big chest, the barrel chest. And that's what was good is he had a violent hand pop. And that's going to help him too as a defensive tackle. Hand pop is a very under diminished skill for defensive tackles. That's one of the reasons why I like the Leam that draft. That's one of the reasons why I like Broderick Martin. Violent use of hands. If you've got violent use of hands, you will be able to push people back and stand them up. That way your leverage doesn't mean as much, but it still helps. Aaron Donald wasn't the biggest, but his leverage skills were elite. Absolutely.
Elite leverage and otherworldly strength. The guy benches 500 pounds.
Right. You're talking about a guy that didn't he do like 38 bench reps at the combine?
He did a ridiculous amount, but he said his max is over 500.
Yeah.
There aren't that many guys in the NFL that can bench 500, even offensive linemen who are supposed to do stuff like that. And then he said he squats over 1,000. So that's your kind of leverage you got right there.
So I appreciate everybody coming in. No longer available. It looks like a PC payload type of picture on it. Saw that. Put DK to shame. Well, Martin was drafted to be a poor man's what was the DT Eagles drafted? The Jordan Davis. You know, in a way, he's kind of right. The analogy's there because he was a big guy. That's what we brought him in for. But he was underdeveloped. He was out of shape. He went from a 4-3 DN/D tackle for North Alabama Community College and became a 3-4 nose tackle who wasn't supposed to start his first year there, but the starter got hurt and he had to come in for him. So he really didn't develop into a semi-decent nose tackle until the second year. So all I know is that I had to hunt to find his stats at North Alabama Community College. I'm going to tell you something, Orlando. Guys with short arms bench better. Blake Corum with his 28.5-inch sleeves. Yeah, Jordan Davis. If he's a poor man's Davis, but good, that's an awesome DT. Poor man's Jordan is a top tier second string rotational DT. Sweet. Yes, I knew that's where you were going when you said Jordan. Because every Lions fans still, when he has running back ever get, I don't get that question, Orlando.
He's saying he wants to know when was the last time the running back had the most bench reps at the combine.
Wasn't that Hassan, the other guy that came out of Michigan a couple years ago that went to the Titans? Because we talked about it then, how he outbenched Jordan Davis.
I think you are correct.
And it has to do with the shorter arms. Big guys have super long arms. That's all it is. And now everybody's more worried about technique than strength with offensive and defensive linemen. They get them in the weight room to maintain their weight and stay strong, but they're more about training them on their technique than actual strength training. Because technique trumps talent, the natural God-given talent, if you work hard at it. You know what I'm saying there, Von?
To an extent, yes, I'll give you that. Hard work's going to beat talent. But then you have guys like Mike Parsons, who has like every God-given talent in the world. He's going to beat most of these guys anyway, no matter how much they try. Because at the end of the day, he's just physically better.
And then prior to Hassan, I think the last running back that bench pressed more than everybody was Derrick Henry.
It's because Derrick Henry's a linebacker playing running back.
Right. Because he was 6'4", 240 coming out of college.
Brandon Jacobs, 6'5", 256, playing running back.
Marshawn Lynch.
He was short though.
But he was a girthy short person is what I'm getting at. Shut up. Don't go there. I see your evil wheels turning. I'll stop you now. Christian Okoye, now you're going back into the 80s, right? In the early 90s? The Nigerian Nightmare?
Yep. When they're running under 5, these guys are freaks. Dude, here, let me give you an idea of this. You get two guys that can run a 4.5. They hit into a collision. Do you know it's the same amount of force as you have 75-mile-an-hour car crash?
Yep. What it does mean is they can shove somebody off with their you're just trying to arm tackle them. That's what it means. It doesn't mean they break every tackle. Best strong running back ever, Bo the Pro Jackson. If it wasn't for the injury, the best running. Even Bo Jackson says Barry Sanders was better than him.
Different kind of runner, dude. I don't think anybody would have touched Bo's stats if he didn't get injured.
Damar Hamlin almost died because a helmet contacted his chest at the perfect moment when your heartbeat was racing at that perfect speed. Had nothing to do with that. It was a helmet hit. It wasn't a shove.
I think it was something else, but I'm not even going to go there.
That or he had a little bit of coke to be able to get the starting position.
No, he got the poke.
Oh, Narcan?
No, the COVID shot.
Oh. Yeah, let's not go there. I don't like COVID. I don't like talking about COVID. COVID's bad enough. I know lots of people who have and have not had the shot, and guess what? Neither one of them caught it again. And then I've had people who got the shot, and they got it worse than they had it before they had the shot. So there's all sorts of stories.
It's like the flu, but my whole thing about it is if you just look at college athletes or athletes in general from the age of 18 to 30 that got that shot, their heart attack rate is up almost 40% in people that got the shot.
Maybe. I don't like getting into the politics of sports. I was again a big part of the medical trials through Cherry Health. Oh, I'm glad you're still here then, Orlando. You were one of the ones that didn't mutate and get the extra arm. I got it.
Ooh. If I would have known it gave me an extra arm, I might have got shot.
I volunteered and it paid me $3K. Great. I did it too. For $3K? Yeah, I might have done it. At the time?
For a third arm? Absolutely. For $3K? Nah.
For $3K and a possibility at an extra arm? Yeah.
Do you know how, like, honestly, do you know how useful another arm would be?
Depends on where it's at.
Nope. You make it work wherever it's at. Coming out of my butthole would make it work.
Yo, yuck. Shut up. You're evil. What? That's not bad. There we go. And then when you gotta go to the bathroom. So who will be the Lions MVP this season? That is a good question. I think it's still going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown or Sam Laporta. That's my two choices. On defense, until somebody surpasses them in those pressure rates and totals, Aiden Hutchinson.
I hate pressures. Just such a horrible stat. I got the placebo during the trial. They had us blinded. End of it, got the real shit, so I was wrong.
Oh, God, Orlando. You mean raw dogging the whole time? Oh, goodness. Breakout star needs to be like, yeah, I think he is going to be the breakout star of the defense this year. I think he finally is going to get to bloom because look at what Kelvin Shepard has done with Derek Barnes and Malcolm Rodriguez over the last 2 years. He's actually shown he can develop a linebacker.
He has, but are you going to let him play middle linebacker where he fits best?
Right. That's the thing.
No, they're going to play anal zone there. The breakout player this year who's going to show you everybody in the league that he is a true star is going to be Brian Branch.
Walk around like I had the shot before everyone else. Nope, raw dogging.
Walking around not wearing his mask in public, acting all big. It's like, hey,
I got the shot. How come I can't smell that food? The only good thing about having COVID is that when your crap stank, you couldn't tell it. Oh, we already know Branch was a beast. Yes, sir. But I do need to see Orlando Pasquamano Jr. Yep, false confidence.
Like a
Oh man.
teenager on prom night, false confidence.
Yeah, a freshman dating a senior at prom night. And I mean the guy dating the girl. False confidence. It's usually a bet they lost.
When you watch yourself a video and you think you got everything figured out, it don't work, buddy.
Yeah, that video's bad. On Rawhide Anthrax, I got it. It got rowdy, Yates.
What's up, Grandizer?
How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Glad you could join us. Wow, we've been talking for 50 minutes and it's been a great show. I'm loving the interaction. Let's keep this up. But every day, Monday through Friday, noon to 1, I will be here talking Lions talk with you guys. Von Doom, it depends on whether or not he's working.
Exactly. And just for the hell of it, because I think it's funny. How about them Pistons in the draft lottery?
Oh, yeah. They got screwed again. The draft lottery's got to go. We've
Yeah, but
been
you know what? The Pistons would still do what they do every year and be the worst team. So they just keep
talking
tanking because
about
the owner
hiring.
doesn't care about the team.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about hiring back the guy that was a horrible coach and couldn't coach defense. Do we think he'll pick a good defensive player in Dwayne Casey to be the president of operations? That happens, we're screwed. At 5, because I think he'll be there. In my opinion, the best guy we could take is Klinger, kid out of Connecticut. As much as I hate to say it, because we really don't need him because of Jaden Ivey and all those guys. But he would be the best fit for this roster to teach these guys how to do some defense because he's going to come in a better defender than any of them.
Defense in the league is just BS anymore. It's just not played.
Yeah, but if he's doing it already at the college level, is what I'm getting at a very high level, he's going to come in and be at a higher level than the guys that don't play defense at all on this roster.
I agree with you 100% there. I'm just saying that NBA just doesn't let you do that. They don't care about defense. They want points. Okay. You see St. Brown catching his passes. Absolutely. He's going to catch almost all of them. He gets a ton of volume passes from him. He's got great hands. But the only thing we really complain about Goff is this. He'll check down to St. Brown. He check down the Reynolds and Laporta when he would have guys like JMO and freaking Khalif Raymond wide
And
open with nobody
DPJ.
near him past 20 yards.
And DPJ.
And DPJ. He has a good percentage over on the deep ball. He has a good percentage. He led the league in percentage. But the numbers of actual throws there weren't that much. And he does not have the strong. He has a good arc on his ball. But when it gets out to that point with that arc, it's already wobbling. So it's not a good pass. Now, you got a guy like JMO, as fast as he is, you can't throw an arcer. You have to throw a bullet.
Right. Orlando's exactly right. Under 20, amazing. Over 20 yards, meh. He's not wrong.
Nope.
And that's why, if you watch all those deep passes that did make it to JMO over 25 yards, he had to slow down, turn around, and come back to the ball.
He can't hit him in stride.
Which is also why defenders caught up to him and was able to make contact. So when I hear JMO has to be a better contested catch guy, I kind of disagree with people because he had to catch every single one of those deep balls, except for the very first one in Minnesota, as a contested catch. Yeah, even Khalif. Yeah, Khalif, if it was under 20 yards, it was right to him. It was a nice, quick. We commented the first game of the regular season when we saw Goff throwing those lasers under 20 yards. Maybe he'll fix his deep ball. Remember that, Von Doom? Because there was more zip. He actually got stronger. But I think Goff lost his confidence in his deep ball in the 2018 Super Bowl because he was throwing less of the big arcing plays that had to drift to people. He was throwing that lower arc trajectory, deep ball zipped pass, and people were dropping it left and right. Two to Brandon Cooks, one to Josh Reynolds, one to Everett. There was another one to the other wide receiver, and I can't even remember his name now. I think it was Robert Woods was the other one
I believe.
because Robert
Bobby
Woods was
Trees.
there longer than Cup. So all those guys dropping the deep passes he did throw and them losing 10-3, I think it messed with his brain and it gave him no confidence in his deep ball anymore.
Here, I'll give you something else about his deep ball. Watch when he used to throw his deep ball. He would stop, he would set his feet, and he would put his weight behind it because he doesn't have the strongest arm. Now you watch him throw the deep ball, he never sets and plants that foot anymore.
And Orlando's right. Rather have an amazing under 20 and I think under 30 passes, under 30-yard passes are harder to complete. And he is right because the defenders are all right there. The problem is when you're throwing into coverages, that's what led to a lot of the interceptions that happen. I mean, other than the Marcus Peters ones who just jumped a good route, he was there. He turned around, saw the ball coming, jumped up and took it. That ball was going over his head. He high pointed that ball. So I'm not really going to fault Goff because it looked like it was on target.
Game manager expertise.
He's right. That's exactly what it is. That's why he has the highest completion percentage in the NFL that he's ever had right now. Every year it's gone up 1%. And that's because he's completing more passes at 25 yards and under.
You know why that is? Because he has an offensive coordinator that built the playbook for him.
Right.
He was out when he was with the Rams, they were a stretch run deep ball. That was what they played. Now he play underneath. He's getting chunk plays. He's throwing a lot of balls, getting completions. He had 4,500 yards. So I'm not going to say the guy's a shit quarterback. He's not. He's a good quarterback. I just don't like him. So whenever I shit on him, it's because I don't like him.
Von Doom is a 100% gunslinger mentality for quarterback is what he loves. He loves guys like Brett Favre, Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, because he'll chuck it deep and say, "Get it, boys." Regardless.
Dante Culpepper. I love wide receivers too. Dante Culpepper, horrible fucking quarterback. Sorry, pardon my language. Horrible quarterback. But throw a great deep ball to Randy Moss. Just throw it up there and go get it. Let that wide receiver be a center fielder. And you know what? You're going to get your big plays. It's going to have an explosive offense. Yes, you're going to give up some interceptions. But it was just like me being a Giants fan, how Eli Manning was. We were getting 300 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You knew what you were getting, and he risked it. And I was cool with that.
Everybody's missing. I'm not talking about 15 bomb touchdowns to JMO. Don't misconstrue what I'm talking about. Let's say Hendon Hooker goes out there, plays the first half of all 3 games, and he has a stat with 10 to 15 bombs. And I'm not just talking about JMO, where he hits the guys in stride. Also has 2 to 3 rushing touchdowns in that time because of his athleticism and the way he breaks the pocket. And he runs away from contact. It was a non-contact injury that got him on the sideline. So if he's able to do all that, are we still in let's play Goff, $55 million for the next 4 years? Or do you say, let him be somebody else, $55 million quarterback the next year? Because I'm saying if that happens, the only way Goff gets extended at the end of the season is if he takes the Lions to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not trying to be an asshole here because I'm looking at everything Holmes said about the Goff contract in that interview. Yes, he has been a high priority. Yes, he deserves an extension. Then he comes back with, we hope we get a deal done. Hope, not we will. Hope. Big difference in those words.
And if you notice anything with Brad Holmes, he is very careful with the words he uses. He's very articulated with what he's saying.
And he doesn't bullshit. And when everybody thought we were trading up into the top 15, that's what it was. But it is time to go. I got to get out of here because it's 1 o'clock and it's time for the next